Welcome to Enchanted Tarot. This is for the sign of Scorpio. Please keep in mind that it is a general reading though, so that means it is not going to resonate with each and every one of you who are watching. Scorpio, you will know if this is your story. Um, okay, so somebody realizes, and it could be you, could be them, they realize they made a bad choice. Perhaps they went too far. And perhaps it's not the first time. I feel like we see our Knight of Cups is in the upright position now. So I feel like he or she, I'm saying he because it's a he on the card, but could be a she, is wanting to go back to the person, wanting to recuperate what they've lost, basically. Okay. You can see that they are on the outside looking in with this next card of curiosity. On the inside, it looks nice and beautiful. And on the outside where they are currently, it's brambles and everything's dead, you know. And so they want to go back inside. They want to get back inside is what they want. And they're worried about this with the umbrella. And so the umbrella is seeking shelter from the storm. So there's been a storm and they are trying to regroup and recuperate. Okay. Um, Here's our realization over here with this Eight of Wands in reverse. It's like an awakening when it comes to love, when it comes to a choice that they have made in love, and the consequences of their actions. Really, it's like that, getting that awakening, realizing they've made a huge mistake. And it's like all they can think about. It's all they can think about. We have Escamon de Foi here and a card of obsessing over here. So there were some emotional issues in this relationship, but you can see that they still want to drink from the cup. We also see that the moon is here and the eyes of the moon are closed. So there's something this person is not seeing, okay? And I feel like it's been a recurring problem, so they would need to look at it. They may not be have been handling this correctly. They may not have been admitting to something or seeing something, okay, that they need to. Um, this person may have ran from their problems rather than admit to where they were really coming from, you know. Um, they don't want this ending. They don't want things to end. Um, Here we see that they are battling their inner demons, all these thoughts and worries, imagining the worst, reflecting. So they're doing a lot of reflecting. Um, Knight of Shields here. Coming with the Four of Love, they came out together, these two cards. So, and the Four of Love is what you have here as well, in the reverse, and that's that realization that you made a bad choice. Okay, that you may have lost an opportunity in love, you or they, and now you're feeling very emotionally troubled because you still love that person or they're still in love with you. I mean, it goes one way or the other. And now you're in the position of you're sitting in the consequence of the action, or they are, and imagining the worst, feeling like, well, it's over, but it doesn't feel like it's over, you know? Why? Because I still love that person, you know? I still want this relationship. I still want to try to fix things, but yet they ran, you know? So there's something this person needs to see or admit to, more than likely. I feel like they're in reflection here, They're in the hangman energy, and you can really see how defeated they are feeling at this moment. So they're feeling very low. It's like almost like woe is me as they hang in this position, trying to understand something, trying to figure something out. It's almost like having to learn the hard way, you know? There they are down and waiting for somebody to come and help them, when the real message on this card is that they need to help themselves. And there's courage underneath, and challenge. So this may be their challenge, is to help themselves, to finally maybe admit to where the real problem is coming from, especially that it is a recurring problem. Okay. You see, they still really want the coin. they're they're just sitting here and they're looking at it. They really want to talk, but they're not doing anything here right now except looking at the possibility. They're thinking about it. Here they are, thinking about going to you, or you to them, whichever way this goes. Um, this is about learning, so learning by experience. And this, okay, so what this card here is saying with all these other cards, because this is all about the learning experience. So this is something that they have learned or ultimately do learn, okay, depending where they are in the energy. Because it's here we're at the point of defeat here, where they may begin to see a light, okay, and so. Um, Card of learning. This goes back a long way with the Hierophant, and that would explain the devil. Okay. Um, Experiences here. And this card, we can see as well that this is something that repeats, because there's something ceremonious that's happening here, so it feels like it's happened over and over again, as all these swords are lined up. Okay, and the most recent battle, we see the swords scattered on the ground. He carries one on top of him here, and it's that, uh, well, it could be that one thing that's on his mind, but that, and he holds it to him. It could be a truth that he's holding to him, as well, or some kind of awakening, even with that sword he just holds to him. I feel with this card we see water, a lot of water, and mountains in the distance. So maybe he's seeing, maybe he feels something is out of reach. But the sun here coming up indicates that all is not lost. Okay, that it's not too late, and it's not the only card that gives off this message. Okay, and when I see repeating messages, oh, you really must pay attention. Okay, so it's not too late, and what this card says that is, if lessons were learned, you can still bring this back from the brink of death where it is now sitting. Okay, taking back your power. This person got very angry in the moment, and perhaps blew a fuse, is now more than likely suffering um, pain, anguish over what they've done. Um, this is somebody most likely who has a lot of pride, and it's like they don't want to admit that maybe they played a part in this. And I feel it's like the thing that they are shying away from doing, they don't really want to do it, is ultimately the one thing that they really need to do. It's their challenge, and it's how they help themselves, you know. taking back one's power here. The emperor, where was that other emperor? Here. He's sitting here underneath. He's standing. So this is getting up and taking back your power. Okay, you don't want this ending. Okay, you or they. And so they're lying here in the Four of Swords, thinking about something, thinking about the Three of Swords, so something that was very painful, hoping to be able to transform the situation, but yet they're kind of worried about failure. And so, and then we have this Eight of Cups. And so this card really shows what happens when we abandon our dreams, you know, the things, the things then that, you know, that we leave behind, they become fair game for anyone else who's willing to pick up the pieces. Now, this person would have thought of this or is thinking of this. So it's like somebody here in the background, you can see them in red here. You see, is walking away without a backward glance while the other is staring down into the cup at what they've lost. Okay. Um, this card says that you can still set things right, and that like it's like if you don't pick up the pieces of your life, it's a warning that somebody else might. Okay, and then the loss is really permanent. So your loss would be their gain. So this is telling you to think about this, you or them, whoever this is. And if it's them, hopefully they're watching. Don't turn your back on this on your partner. Make the most of what you have. The grass is not always greener on the other side. Um, this card says, but you know, by the time you discover that for yourself, it may be too late to save this. So again, the eyes of the moon are closed. So there's something here you may not see until it's too late. But hopefully this message reaches you in time or them. Okay. And if it does, we definitely are going to see movement with that realization. That is what I have for you. I thank you for watching, for liking, and for sharing my videos and for subscribing. Also, thank you to everyone who has sent in a donation. It is greatly appreciated. Many blessings to all of you. Bye for now.